a special video. Today, as requested, we will be doing a tarot card reading video. And this reading will be good through the end of this year. So, as I'm filming it today, it is nearly Halloween. So we are coming up on the end of October. So this video will take us through the end of this year of 2024. Okay. And as you can see, we've got 3 different decks here. 1, 2, 3. Not 1, not 2, but 3. And they each serve a different purpose. This deck will be the primary deck that we're using today, which I'll mainly be pulling from for our reading. This deck will be my clarifying deck, meaning any additional cards that I pull, if I need a little additional information. So we may not use this deck, or we might. It's sort of the backup deck. And this third deck here is a oracle deck. This is an oracle deck, so at the very end of the reading, we're going to pull one oracle card, which will sort of wrap up the entire reading for us today. Okay? So, if you've watched these videos from me before, then you already know that tarot card readings are quite general in this case, right? So, I encourage you to take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I hope that you do get some good messages from this. But if you don't feel like it resonates, don't try to force it. It's okay. There will be other tarot videos from me probably, or you can watch them from other creators. But let me know what you think. If you like this style of video, if you'd like me to do more in the future, because I have a lot of different decks, and I would be more than happy to show them off and do some different types of readings with different types of prompts. So just let me know what you think. But as always, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're enjoying this end of the fall season. I know I certainly have been, but I don't want to spend too much time in the intro here, so I'll just let you know that all of these cards have been shuffled and cleansed and all that good stuff, so we're ready to go. So I'm going to put these 2 decks off to the side just for now. We're going to come back to them. Okay. And I hope you like my spooky shirt. It is the Scream shirt that I love so much. Okay, so what I would first like to get a message on is the sort of general energy, right? So of the collective here, what's the general energy? What message do you most need to see in terms of where you're at right now in this moment? Let's find out what that general energy is for you. Okay, so we pulled the 5 of Swords here, and I know I'm far away, so I'll see if I can zoom in on this a little bit for you, but essentially the 5 of Swords indicates that there's some sort of internal conflict and a feeling like you need to be right in a situation, whether or not you are actually right, but it just, for the sake of the argument, you want to be the one who gets the last word, or you want to feel empowered or perhaps more powerful in a situation. And so this could be you. It could be somebody that you're dealing with. I don't know what's going on in your life, but typically it means that there is some sort of conflict that's happening, either within yourself or with somebody else. And it's very, like I said, surface level. So it's much more focused on the last word, right? Or convincing yourself that you are in the right on a certain situation. Perhaps because you are not ready to heal or grow, or look at something a little more deeply or critically. It doesn't mean that realize I should have grabbed some water. I didn't do that. That was silly, but hopefully I am not sounding too strained. My mic is a little farther than usual, so hopefully it still sounds okay. But anyway, let's find out why the Five of Swords came up and what more we can learn about that to clarify what the heck is going on. Why is the Five of Swords coming up for you at this time? Okay, so this card fell out, as did this card. Okay, so the way I do this is I sort of let the cards fall out and I trust that those are the messages. Some people will just sort of shuffle a few times and pick one. I just let them fall out. I believe in the spontaneity of it all. But, okay, so to clarify, first we've pulled the Tower and then we've pulled the Page of Cups. Now, the Tower card, we'll see if you can see that. Now, the Tower card indicates that there is a big change coming for you. And the Tower card can feel a little bit scary, but it is often necessary to get you out of a certain funk or just because something needs to change, right? It's no longer serving you. And it's time that the bricks were sort of reshuffled, so to speak, right? So sometimes everything needs to come crashing down so you can rebuild. And that's what the Tower card aims to do. So if you are seeing this sort of tumultuous energy in an area of your life, it could be because the Tower card is coming in and the universe is saying something's got to give, something needs to change. Either you need to heal or you need to heal from a situation that you're in. And also with this card came the Page of Cups, the Page of Cups, the Page of Cups. And so typically cups will represent an energy of love. And so that could be self-love, that could be relationship love, whether platonic or romantic. It's a card of love, right? And the page is somebody who is coming in. They're a little bit, I would maybe say younger, more naive, more green, so to speak. And so there could be this new sort of relationship that's taking off for you that you might be having trouble with, or you're not able to connect with in the way that you want to because there is this inner conflict or there's this dispute over something. Or like I said, the Tower needs to just come in and do its thing and give you a fresh start for a new chance at a new type of relationship. It really depends on how you want to interpret the cards, right? And so it could mean that once the Tower does its thing, you have your time to heal, then that new energy, that new loving connection will come in. It could also mean that, because again, we've been talking about healing, it could mean that there's a new sense of self-love coming in for you. So again, take it as it resonates. Typically when I pull a Page of Cups card, to me what resonates is a more like romantic relationship. But again, it doesn't have to be that. So just to be really clear, like it's not one size fits all. It's how you interpret the message, right? And so again, with the Five of Swords energy, we've got the Tower and we've got the Page of Cups. So to back up with this sort of conflict that you may be dealing with, or this need to win or to be right, perhaps that's influencing a newer relationship that you're in, or a new phase of the relationship that you're in, or once you've done the proper healing, you'll have a better relationship with yourself or someone new. So I'll leave that there for now, and we're going to go ahead and pull the next card. But I hope that's helpful. Okay. So we've learned a little bit about your current energy, and now I would like to see what challenges may lie ahead. And don't get me wrong, it already sounds like you've got some challenges that you're dealing with, but any messages that you should be aware seeing right now, I'd like to pull a card for that. So that's exactly what I'm going to ask for, is any challenges or issues that you should be aware of in the coming days or weeks. Alright, any challenges? Alright, any challenges or issues to be aware of that may not be seen at this time? Page of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. Okay, and this is what the card looks like. Sorry for the glare. So again, we're pulling a second page, and again, a page is somebody that is in that sort of younger energy. It doesn't necessarily mean like young as in years, but young as in experience or understanding or growth even. Because you've got your page, you've got your knight, your queen, your king, and then you've got some other cards, of course, but the page is a little bit lower on that sort of hierarchy, and that's not a bad thing. That's an opportunity for growth and understanding and for newness to come in. So don't take it as something negative, but just moving over now to talk about the Pentacles piece of this card. Pentacles typically indicate our earthly possessions, things we can touch and feel, and it can often mean wealth, like material abundance. And so that's typically what I see in the readings that I do. And so when we're talking about a Page of Pentacles, that is, to me, a newer type of financial opportunity, or perhaps a new job, a new career path, a new opportunity to learn a skill set that might be financially or monetarily valuable. And so that's what I take away from this card. And because I asked about something that you're not seeing in the coming days or weeks that could relate to a challenge, it might be that you are planning to start something new that might be making you some money, or you have an idea, a new idea of how to get that sort of started and off the ground. And so I do see that might, it might not be the easiest thing to do. There might be challenges associated with that. So let's go ahead and pull a clarifying card to see what else we can learn about that. What else do we need to know about this Page of Pentacles? That's too many. Okay. So, for the clarifying card, we've pulled the Hermit, the Hermit, the Hermit, the Hermit. And the Hermit is an individual or an energy that's very in their shell, right? They are, I don't want to go as far as saying reclusive, but they can be. And sometimes it's really important to have that Hermit energy because you need to take time for yourself to rest and to heal and to grow. But too much Hermit energy is not always great, and sometimes you need to try to pull yourself out of that energy in a certain situation, right? And so what I pick up from that in relation to this Page of Pentacles is that it's important that you don't shut yourself off from new opportunities of growth, especially those revolving around, again, new skill sets, new career paths, new jobs, perhaps a new role at your current job. This is not the time for you to be sitting back and, again, going back into your shell, getting in your head, isolating yourself, finding yourself reclusive, because that could pose a real challenge to your upcoming growth. You don't want to stagnate, because again, there's a time and a place for healing, regenerating, taking that time away. But I do see this as being a challenging energy for you in the coming days and weeks. So if you have, again, like I said, a new opportunity coming up for you. It seems to me like you might want to jump on it and put your best effort and energy into it and not be too afraid of that opportunity, so much so that you find yourself going back into the abyss on your own, into the dark, and just waiting for something else to pass you by. I think you want to have a different approach with that. That's what I would take away from it. Again, interpret that however you'd like. Okay, so next I would like to find out about some good news. Let's pull some good news energy, because these energies are a little bit heavy. So let me just shift. Okay. So let's see what good or exciting news is coming your way in the coming days or weeks. How about that? Good news coming your way. Oops. Butterfingers. Okay. Good news coming your way. Whoa. Okay. Okay, so we pulled the Two of Wands and the Five of Wands. Okay, so two wand energies in wands indicate a want or a passion, an excitement, a yearning. So that's the energy of the wand cards, wand with a D. And so the Two of Wands is that represents like a new growth, a new beginning, and it also represents balance. So a balanced approach to cultivating something new. Now it's interesting because the Five of Wands pops up here. And again, as we learned, the Five can be a card of conflict, as we saw here with the Five of Swords, right? And so what this means to me is that the energy you're in right now is not going to last. If you are in that sort of conflict mode, what I see here is this is going to be resolved, because we've got, again, the Five of Wands energy, which is a conflict card, but it's more about a conflict of your true desires, what you're wanting, and how that works with all of the other people in your life. And so with the Two of Wands also being there, that is a growth card, okay? That is a balance card. So I think there is going to be some healing that happens between now and then, between now and the end of the year, so whatever that means. But it seems to me like you're going to have this sort of, for lack of a better term, like come to Jesus moment with yourself or with whoever else you're involved with, and you're gonna work it out. You're gonna put all of your crap aside, figure out what you want for yourself and what others around you might want, and you're gonna have this really nicely balanced moment where you get what you want and need, and maybe somebody else gets what they want and need, and you're going to move forward in a way that cultivates something much stronger and much more meaningful than whatever it was you had before. So I feel like because two cards fell out there, I don't necessarily feel the need to clarify with an additional deck. So I think it's good energy. I think you're working on either, again, with yourself or with somebody else. Could be multiple individuals. Working on being able to more eloquently speak and find your truth in what matters to you. So that's important. And again, you can take that how you want it. I guess I could clarify just to clarify that sort of wand energy, like what is this growth evolving into? Why not? Could we please get some more information about the wand energy, the wand, the passion? What is that about? Wow, that just kind of flew out. Swords, I clarified with the Page of Cups. And now here with the Five of Wands, I clarified with the Page of Swords. And so, again, what we've learned about pages, I've already talked to you about that, but swords, I don't think I've mentioned this, swords are a indicator of communication. And so there is a conversation that you want to have. You want to have better communication, either with yourself, the way you talk to yourself, or with the relationship you have with somebody else. And so that's what these wands indicate. It's not necessarily that you want, I don't know, in this case, like a brand new car, a brand new job, like to find the love of your life and get married. You're not thinking about that necessarily. You're thinking about, how do I get down to brass tacks, baseline? How does this communication improve? How do we have a healthier conversation, a healthier relationship with communication? And so the page is learning that. The page will learn and grow into that energy. And so that's really beautiful, and again ties in nicely to your current energy. So I think it's a nice before and after picture that I didn't expect to necessarily make that connection. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes the cards feel really separate, but these I feel like go hand in hand, so kind of cool. Okay, the last thing I want to find out is advice for you, just general advice. The advice that you most need to pay attention to in the coming days and weeks. We'll see if it's related or not. Okay, advice. What is the advice for you? Okay, nice. So the Sun card, it's a beautiful card. And the sun indicates happiness and joy. And it's not just like, oh, be happy. It's like, what makes you come alive? What makes you shine? The sun is very hot and powerful and passionate. So I guess the advice here, and we'll clarify, but what I immediately take from that is you need to get out of your head. You need to live in the moment and work really hard to find your joy. What is it that makes you come alive? What is it that makes you feel like you have a purpose for being here? What gets you up in the morning? Do more of that. Because that's what the point of all of this is, right? And sometimes we can get stuck in those smaller energies of self-doubt and not being nice to ourselves and not being nice to others. But at the end of the day, we can create so much beauty and joy and power and heat with the things that bring us life, right? So that just immediately jumped out to me. But let's see if there is any clarifying card. I don't know that we need one, but I've done it for the other questions. So anything else we need to know about the Sun card for the advice? Any other clarifying energies here? Okay, very cool. So for that, we pulled the Hierophant, the Hierophant, the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is sort of this like very wise individual or energy. So it's this understanding that there is a lot to learn, and the Hierophant knows a lot. Because again, it's this card of wisdom and understanding. But you don't get there overnight. So I think to me what this means is you might still be trying to figure out what makes you tick and what brings you that immense amount of joy and makes you feel alive. So I think there's this wisdom or understanding that maybe you haven't yet tapped into, and that might be your homework, right? To try to figure that out, to really sit with yourself and figure out what is it that I can do to tap into this and to feel more connected to the sense of joy, passion, heat, happiness, power, what have you. What is it that I need to do to really connect with that and get a great greater understanding. And that could mean speaking with a Hierophant, someone who you perceive as very wise and well-knowing, or perhaps omniscient in some way. Or it could be picking up a book and learning more about something, because there's a lot of wisdom to be found in books, right? The Hierophant is an energy, so it doesn't have to be a person. It can, but it could also be a book, or I don't know, another way that you can get information. Nature is a Hierophant, in my opinion. You can learn a lot from our environment, so there's different ways you can tap in, but what I get from this is maybe you need to learn a little bit more about what it is that sparks that joy in you. And that's okay, that's a fun process. And it makes sense because, again, we've got a lot of pages here. For every single thing I pulled, every question I asked, we pulled a page. And that's not common. So that means in sort of all facets here, there is room to learn and grow and evolve. And so that's a really beautiful journey to take between now and the end of the year. So definitely immerse yourself in that learning and that growth and that exploration. Like, it's okay if it's messy. It's okay if it's confusing. Let yourself just be. Just try to allow it to be a part of your process. It's a beautiful thing. So, okay, last thing we're gonna do is pull an oracle card. And I'll be honest with you, this is a shadow oracle deck. And if you know anything about your shadow, it is the area that we need most attention on. So it's more than likely going to give me a card of something for you to work on. That's not a bad thing. I picked this intentionally because it's important that we do that work. And like I said, it sounds like I'm already getting that energy for you. So maybe we don't need to double down, but we'll see what it has to say. But it could be an area that you might want to just keep paying a little bit of attention to. We'll see. And this will be the card that closes out the reading for tonight. Oh my gosh, my butterfingers. Oh my gosh, okay. The card is surrender, surrender, surrender. And this comes with a book, so I'm going to open up and read that page to you, and we'll learn more about what you need to surrender. Okay, surrender. We often hear the word surrender being thrown around intentional communities, and rightfully so. This is one of the primary lessons we are on earth to learn. It is also one of the most challenging. To surrender is to have our human nature take a back seat. This is not easy, and we can find ourselves saying, I know how I should look at this, but we struggle when it comes to actually embodying it and putting it into practice. When we are working with larger concepts, it's important to break it down. Rather than embracing surrender like a mantra, enter into a dialogue with it. What does it mean? What does it look like? If you were to surrender, how would you feel? How would you move through life? How would your heart, soul, mind, and body feel? With the situation at hand, how would you engage differently? What are small things you can do daily that hold a container for surrender? Consider journaling around these questions and sit with what this card means for you and how you can integrate it. Very cool. So there you go. And I think before I end this video, I do want to just tell you more about the text that I used in case you're interested. Of course, I do hope that the messages here resonated for you. And if they didn't, at least I hope you found it to be relaxing and you like to look at the cards and learn more about them. So, the primary deck that I used today was the Deviant Moon Tarot. this is a tarot deck of mushrooms. Mushrooms, mushrooms, mushrooms. And then the card that we just read from the Oracle deck, that is called the Threads of Fate Oracle, the Shadow Edition. And it is by Threads of Fate, the Threads of Fate, which is what it says on the front there. I just